Got her?
Did you hear that?
Bats!
Fuck.
Get down here!
Anna Rook lives inside a large Victorian house she has not stepped out of in 10 years. A woman whose entire life has narrowed down to a set of rooms, a familiar staircase, and the older brother she cares for from morning until night. Conrad is dying of pancreatic cancer, and the two of them have built a small closed world around his illness, one that has kept Anna safe from everything she is afraid of on the other side of the front door. But time is closing in, and the man who has been her only anchor is running out of days.
It won't change anything.
That afternoon, a lawyer named Charlotte arrives at the house at Conrad's request. He has quietly hired her to draw up his last will and testament, wanting to make sure Anna is taken care of once he is gone, and the arrangements are already prepared. All that is left is a signature. Charlotte tries to talk Anna through it gently, encouraging her to accept the truth of what is coming, but Anna refuses to sign. Some doors, no matter how kindly they are opened, she is simply not willing to walk through. After Charlotte leaves, Anna and Conrad hold each other in his sick room, and he uses what may be some of his last clear breaths to tell her the things he needs her to hear. He tells her she is stronger than she believes, that she cannot stay locked inside this house forever, that she has to find her way back into the world. He asks her to forgive their father for what he did to them long ago. But at the mention of that man, Anna's face hardens, and she storms out of the room without a word. That night, Conrad slips away in his sleep. By morning, Anna is entirely alone in the house for the first time in her adult life, moving through rooms that suddenly feel too large, too quiet, too full of a silence she does not know how to fill. Later in the day, Dan, the young man who has been delivering her catered meals, arrives at the door with her usual order. She invites him in, and he sits with her for a while and does his best to offer some comfort. He mentions, almost in passing, that he wants to leave this town but doesn't have the money. Anna disappears into another room and comes back with a bag of cash, telling him she has more of it now than she knows what to do with. Dan, embarrassed, politely refuses. But by the time he walks out of that house, he has seen something he was never supposed to see. The day of Conrad's funeral comes, and Anna cannot get herself out of the door. Charlotte calls the landline again and again, waiting for her at the service, but the phone rings into an empty hallway. Instead of leaving, Anna quietly walks into the kitchen and sets a kettle on the stove to make tea. It is her way of making the world small enough to survive, one small ritual at a time. She has no idea this is the last quiet moment she will have in this house. Outside, a car pulls into her driveway, and three men climb out with the easy confidence of people who have already decided the place is empty. Anna hears them and drops down beneath the kitchen table, holding herself very still. The men break in, moving from room to room, searching for something she is only just beginning to understand. Then the kettle on the stove starts to whistle. Realizing the sound will bring them straight to her, Anna slips out of the kitchen and climbs the stairs just before the intruders round the corner. They see the boiling kettle, and everything changes in an instant. Someone is home.
Got the phone line.
Their leader, JP, cuts the phone line so she cannot call for help and sends his men through the house to find her. It is Perry, the youngest and the most restless of the three, who finds her upstairs, and the sight of him sends Anna running for the front door. She reaches it. She almost makes it out. And then, inches from freedom, her body simply stops. The door stands wide open in front of her, and she cannot make herself step through it. The three intruders stare, and for a moment none of them can quite understand what they are looking at.
You're Anna, right? Okay, Anna.
They sit her down in the living room. JP, the calmest of the three, begins to question her about where the money is. Perry, restless and cruel, is already halfway to a decision of his own. He wants to kill her, burn the house down behind them, and walk away clean. He even carries in a can of gasoline to make sure everyone understands he is serious. But JP's brother, Vance, is against it from the start, arguing they should just take what they came for and leave. JP and Vance decide to search the house together, and they leave Anna behind under Perry's watch. And Perry, alone with a woman who couldn't step out of her own doorway, becomes the man she should be most afraid of. He mocks her. He asks her, half amused and half disgusted, what kind of person freezes at an open door. That is when the truth comes out. Anna has agoraphobia. She has not left this house in 10 years, not since her father died. The moment Perry hears it, he decides to make a game of it. He grabs her and forces her out onto the front porch, watching her come apart in real time. JP hears the commotion and rushes over, pulling her back inside just as her body gives out and she wets herself in front of them. JP tries to ask her again where the money is, but Anna cannot even find her voice through the panic. He looks at Perry with disgust and tells Vance to be the one to watch her instead. Vance hands her a pair of clean sweatpants and quietly asks her to change. She doesn't move. He leaves her sitting there while he goes down to the basement with JP, where the two brothers begin to notice things they cannot quite explain. Doors that don't belong. Rooms that don't fit the shape of the house above them. One door with no handle at all. Upstairs, Anna tries something. She tells Vance, softly, that he isn't like the other two, that she can see it in him. It is meant to be a rope she throws across the room. It backfires. Vance turns on her and tells her that this whole thing was his idea from the beginning, and that they are not leaving without what they came for. And just as that moment tips into something worse, the front door opens. Dan, the catering delivery boy, walks in and pulls Vance off her. And then Vance says something Anna is not prepared for. He calls Dan by name. The two of them know each other. Anna doesn't wait to hear another word. She slips out of the room and disappears into the house. The noise draws JP and Perry up from the basement, and Vance has to admit he has already lost her. JP ties Dan up in the living room while Perry and Vance fan out to search. But Perry is out of patience. He walks to Anna's parakeet cage, pulls the little bird out, and warns her he will kill it if she does not show herself. When no one comes, he kills it anyway. Somewhere in the walls of that house, Anna hears everything. She hides in the bathroom, and it is Vance who finally finds her. In the panic of the moment, she stabs him in the throat before she even knows what she is doing. He drops. She stands over him for a long second, and then, with a strange kind of composure, she drags his body down into the basement.
Did you hear that?
When JP and Perry realize Vance is not answering them, they hurry down and find him dead. They look up in time to see Anna disappear through a door in the basement wall, and then she is simply gone. But she is not gone. She has climbed back up into the house, and she walks straight to a lever hidden in the wall. She pulls it, and the entire basement staircase folds up into the ceiling behind her. The three men who came here for her money are now locked underneath her feet, and the tables have turned in a way none of them are ready to understand.
Is she making fucking tea?
Anna walks over to Dan, still tied to a chair in the living room, and sits down across from him. She wants to know how, on the day of her brother's funeral, three men happened to break into her house. Dan admits the truth. Vance was his friend. He had told Vance, once, about the lonely woman on his delivery route and the bag of cash she had tried to press into his hands. He swears he never thought Vance would do this. Anna listens to all of it, and then she calmly breaks his finger and drags him toward the basement door. She tells him quietly that none of this would be happening if he had just taken the money.
None of this would have happened if you would have just taken the money.
You have no idea what I'm like.
What is a person supposed to do when the world she was hiding from finally comes through her door? Anna moves upstairs to a room she has kept hidden even from herself, one lined with monitors and switches, and she begins to watch the men in the basement the way a curator watches an exhibit. Down below, the survivors realize Dan's kneecap is dislocated and pop it back into place. When she opens the door to tell them there is a first aid kit in the next room, Perry takes the news badly and smashes Dan's leg for it. JP is more careful. He walks through the door into what looks like a child's bedroom, and then the door shuts behind him and locks. That special controller in Anna's hand runs every door, every light, every wall of the place beneath her.
Are you gonna do something?
Get him out of there. Did you hear the locking mechanism? Yeah.
God damn it.
Perry refuses to be caged. He throws himself against a door until the wood gives and stumbles into a bare hallway, a room fitted with a hanging noose, and finally a hole in the wall that opens onto a set of stairs climbing back up into the house above. Before he can call JP over, Anna is behind him with a hammer and a swing she has been rehearsing in her head for years. He goes down. They struggle on the ground, and for a moment he has his hands around her throat, but the wound in his head has already started to bleed him out. His grip weakens. He dies before he can finish what he started. Meanwhile, upstairs, a knock at the front door. Charlotte has driven over to check on Anna and sees Dan's car outside. In the basement, Dan opens a cooler and finds a frozen body inside it, staring up at him. He is beginning to understand what kind of house he is inside. He finds his own way to the hidden stairwell and climbs to the top, knocking against the ceiling above him. Charlotte hears it and asks about the sound. Anna, standing in the hallway with a knife in her hand, tells her it is only the radiator. Charlotte does not press. She leaves.
I'll call you in a few days.
That's nice, thanks.
An old house. I'll talk to you soon. Okay?
Anna descends into the basement herself, finds Dan, and locks him in a small closet. She walks into another room where a painting hides a one-way mirror and stands watching JP from behind it. Then she uses her controller to open a wardrobe on the other side, and Dan tumbles out onto the floor at JP's feet. JP figures out the mirror is there and slams himself against it, but Anna tells him through a speaker that the glass is bulletproof. She tells him to put on a shirt from a drawer, and after a long moment, he does. With nothing left to do, JP starts talking. He tells Anna he has worked out what this house really is. He tells her Conrad was a psychopath who lured people here and killed them while she watched through the glass.
And Conrad came in, drugged them out,
Stop talking.
and he strung them up.
I hate to break it to you, darling. You know what? But there's no one coming through that door tonight.
Anna refuses to let that stand. She passes a folder through a small opening and tells him the truth herself. The men Conrad brought here were pedophiles. Their own father was one of them. He abused Anna throughout her childhood until one day Conrad killed him and Anna never stepped outside again.
And he wanted to relive the moment over and over again.
JP hears all of it, and then he uses it against her. He describes what her father did to her in a voice so cold that she starts to cry, and even Dan from the closet tells him to stop. And then Anna makes an offer. There is a revolver in the room with them. She tells Dan he can kill JP, and she will let him walk out. Dan can't do it. JP takes the gun himself, listens to Anna beg him to repent, lifts the barrel toward his own head, and then he laughs. He tells her he was bluffing. He tells her that unless she opens the door right now, he will kill Dan instead. Anna, for the first time all day, hesitates, and then she lets them out. Some kinds of mercy come at a price no one warns you about. JP drags Vance's body out of the house with Dan behind him. He should be running. Instead, he picks up the can of gasoline Perry brought in earlier and starts pouring it over the walls of the house. Anna comes out to the porch and tries to hand him the whole bag of cash. He isn't interested in money anymore. Anna killed his brother, and now he wants the house to burn. They fight. She breaks away from him and runs upstairs, and he is right behind her. He pins her down on a bed, and in a voice that is meant to be the last thing she ever hears, he tells her that before he kills her, he wants to do the things her father used to do. But Dan is already in the doorway, and in the half second when JP turns his head, Anna twists the revolver out of his hand and pulls the trigger.
I forgive you.
The two of them walk downstairs together in silence. She sits down in a chair in the middle of the ruined room. Dan looks at her for a long moment, and then he steps outside and closes the door behind him. Anna is alone in the house again, truly alone this time. She walks through the rooms she has hidden inside for 10 years and sets each of them on fire. And then, for the first time in a decade, Anna Rook walks out the front door and keeps walking, leaving the whole house and everything it kept burning behind her. Some cages are built to keep the world out. Others are built to keep the truth in. And sometimes the only way out of either is to burn them down.